Hi everyone, welcome back. We're finally here to bring you part two of our window shades. If you missed part one, make sure you go and check that out. We left off there having just finished constructing all of our midpoint boxes.
All right, good morning. Today we're going to put these fancy box sections, which we have talked about so many times now, onto the windows. Well, in between the windows. So I think you know that they are going here. And I already pre-drilled the holes on the box sections. As a matter of fact, I had these pre-mounted, as you can see over here, already with a couple self-tapping screws just on the top hole. Now we're going to put them back on here, and we're going to do this with these furniture screws, so they look nice exposed heads, just like this. And since those are bolts, you can't just go right into the metal, so we use these rivet nuts, which are super cool things. You just drill a hole a little bit bigger, and those are M6. I have this fancy Astro tool. I'm going to link that in the description. You just thread those on, stick them in the hole, and rivet them in. So I'm drilling 23/64 holes. Honestly, I just grabbed the drill bit, which looked about right. And if you check, you see this kind of fits perfect. A little bit of wiggle room here. This doesn't need to be super snug. Just drill a hole which fits, and then we just thread this on the top of the tool. Stick it in the hole. Tighten it. And you can get those in imperial measurements, I think, as well. Oh, there you go. Let's see if we fit. These are, I think, 4mm hex bolts. See? Yes. Super strong.
And here he is going around with the drill and the threading tool, just prepping all of the window sections for boxes. And then installing each of those boxes on their post. And meanwhile, I had several days of work sanding hundreds of pieces of wood. I sanded all of the pieces for the upper and lower box sections themselves, as well as the actual shades and the front faces. And I did the small ones first so that Sven could have those ready to install the lower box sections.
So we're gonna have to make a whole bunch of these today. We're gonna use our jig, which we made before, which is basically the same thing. You remember I did the little box sections in here, and I'm just gonna reuse the same thing because it's already lined up for 4 inches and 2 inches. Put one layer of 4 inch, one layer 2 inch with my spacers on each side. Put another layer of 4 inch and one more 2 inch.
And of course, this was a much longer process putting all of these together, but once he did have them all put together, it was time to nail them into place. And it took a little finagling to get them into the exact right position so that the shades could slide straight from the top section into the bottom section. And here's a peek at what that looks like with the top and bottom sections installed, and Sven will explain that to you a little bit.
This is the extension of this channel here, where our blinds are going to slide in. And then we're going to have a cover plate on top of this, which is going to be the final finish. Well, it's going to look beautiful. These are all the blinds for the full width. Those are the final covers for the wheel wells. And these are the final covers. These and these are the same thing. These are already sanded. Those need to be sanded. The final covers for the full width here, right? So from here to here. These panels we cut to slide in our windows here. Right, our window shades are just a little bit too thick. They don't really want to slide. So what we're doing is we're cutting them. We're gonna take off just a hair on this side, which slides in here, right? And that goes on the back, of course, but just so you can see this, I'm gonna show you. And then, like magic, it slides real nice. See, there's a router bit right here in the middle, which takes up this right there. So I'm gonna slide them through here, take this off. That is that.
once he was sure those were going to fit nicely into all of the window shade boxes, he scored the boards and routed them down. And next is the insulation step. One of the biggest reasons that we wanted to put in these window shades was to make the climate a little more controllable inside the bus so that we weren't losing heat in the winter and cool in the summer out our windows. So Sven is inside now, just cutting down that insulation so it fits onto the window shade boards. Of course, there's the two sizes, one for the full-length windows that are able to slide all the way to the floor, and then the smaller half for the windows that have something in the way, like the wheel wells or the gas tank. And now it's time to glue that insulation onto the shades. Then that glue has to sit for 15 minutes to get tacky, And then we apply the two sides together.
Look at that. That's like a glove.
And these are not fully installed yet, but we tested out using a piece of fabric on the window shades to pull up that second panel on the ones that were not the full length that were over the wheel well. And there was some debate about this because we didn't plan for where that flap was going to go inside of our shades. So we had to kind of reconfigure the setup, and Sven decided they would be on the bottom now. So we still have yet to install those on every window. Now he's just making sure everything has space and fits properly. And then it was time for those center box sections to go back in. And for the front panels to be installed as well.
Now look at this. Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of nailing all of that into place for every window, and everything's good to go. And here it is with the shades going up. And here's a look from the outside. You can see that insulation on the inside of our windows. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.